Another question is, can you give advice to parents when they try to hold boundaries, but the child is chronically explosive and creates frequent high conflict in the home where the family is constantly walking on eggshells?
Yeah, that's a very common scenario. And so first of all, I'm very sorry for that experience. It can be really scary. High conflict family systems, it can really affect your nervous system. And I've worked with parents, like, I don't know if this is the case for you, but I've worked with parents that they're victims of abuse from their adult child. And just a reminder that abuse can go in any direction. So an adult child can be abusive to their parents, very much so. And it does sound like there is, some really, significant and scary dysregulation that's happening. So, the question becomes like, what would you do if that was your spouse treating you that way, right? What would you do if that was somebody else? Like you would say, like, that is not an acceptable way for me to live. That's not, I don't deserve to live in a household where I don't know when there's going to be violent, angry explosions towards me. And I don't want to walk on eggshells in my own home. So believe it or not, like, there are more drastic measures that parents have. And sometimes I very much suggest taking that do involve, kind of legal remedies, that do involve other, more significant cessations, because abuse is not okay. And like, anger and dysregulation in your own home is not okay. Like, everybody deserves to feel safe in their own home. And, even as a parent, like, I would say, like, especially as a parent, we do deserve that.
Yeah. Okay. My adult daughter lost 20 pounds and her health is at risk because of her refusing to cook for herself. I had to step in to ensure she didn't wind up in the hospital for not eating. How do we deal with these kinds of issues with adult children that we can no longer make go to treatment?
Yeah, this is such a hard question. It is one that, whew, a lot of parents are noticing that their child is potentially in danger. So this could be substances, this could be eating disorders. There are going to be cases where your adult child really very much needs a parental intervention, but the treatment facilities are going to say you can't force someone over 18. So what I would say to that parent is, you cooking for your daughter, short term, it's going to help, of course. Short term, it will stop that situation from getting worse. However, the situation will not be resolved by that, because you've looped yourself in to, like, accommodating and enabling that adult from realizing that they need help. Right. So a lot of times when family members step in to help with severe mental health illness, of course, it's coming from such a good place. Like, who doesn't want to feed their child? But it can interfere with that adult having that, like, unfortunate rock bottom or, aha moment that helps them actually motivate themselves to get that treatment. So I think, it's a very, very tricky thing. In the case of very, very severe mental health disorder, there are legal remedies for parents to, get power of attorney. They're very difficult. And really, sometimes the best help that you can provide is to point out the dysregulation, point out the mental health issue, and not enable, so that your adult child, like, realizes how much they need help beyond just your help.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Someone asks, our 31-year-old son has a fear of being overwhelmed by work demands. His desire and expectation for us to support him financially while he starts his own business drawing commissions, she says in quotes, while not looking for a regular job despite his bachelor degree in computer games design. This is his expectation of us, and what should we do? So he wants to start his own business, but he's not really making much money. He wants his parents to support them while he launches his business.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's his expectation. That doesn't have to be your expectation, right? So this is back to saying no and kind of not over explaining. You don't need to over explain to your son, like, well, I don't think that this business is going to make that much money or blah, 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 like, because then you're just going to get into an argument about the logistics of it. And really, you don't know. But it's not on you to support launching a business of someone that doesn't have significant work experience. If your adult child comes to you after 10 years in the workforce and says, hey, this is my business plan, like would you consider helping me with this? That's another question. But it sounds like the dynamic is off here, and that, this is going to be a process for you all to be working on setting clear and firm boundaries, which ultimately, I know it's not nice in the short term, but I do believe it is kind in the long term. When we set boundaries and we don't agree to somebody else's expectations when they're not healthy for them or for us, we're being kind.
Okay. And I have one last question because we're almost out of time. Where is the line between allowing a child to be an adult child, to be exposed to and handle difficult and unpleasant situations, and forcing them, because they're neurodivergent, to feel like they must mask to move forward?
Ooh, that is a tough question with 1 minute left.
I'm sorry.
I will try my best, but I mean, I think that there isn't one clear line. I think what I would say is that, with neurodivergence, we still, myself included, we still need to make it in this neurotypical world. And we can make an active choice to mask if that is something that is going to move our lives forward. And, we all as adults with neurodivergence, get to make that, choice to deal with overwhelm in that way. I think the better question is to say, how am I protecting my adult child from overwhelm? And how do I consider reducing my protections of my adult child so that they can find their own way and decide how they're going to negotiate overwhelm in their future life?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's our last question because we're out of time. And we thank you so much, Natalia, for joining us today and sharing your expertise and compassion with our ADHD community. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone here today. If you would like to access the event resources, visit attitudemag.com and search podcast 601. The slides and recording are posted a few hours after each live webinar. If you're listening in replay mode, simply click on the episode description. Please know that our full library of Attitude webinars is available as a podcast. It's called the ADHD Experts Podcast, and it's available on most streaming platforms. Make sure you don't miss future Attitude webinars, articles, or research updates by signing up to receive our free email newsletters at attitudemag.com/newsletters. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.